Hello everyone, my name is Ambarish KV. I am a lecturer from the Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. So welcome to Thermal Engineering Lab, which is for a 5th semester in the Diploma in Mechanical Engineering. So in this session, we are going to study the experiment called Study of IC Engine Parts. IC stands for Internal Combustion Engine Parts. So ಈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಈ IC ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನಿದೆ what are its functions ಅದರ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ ಇದರ experiment. Then, aim of this experiment is to study the different parts of an IC engine, that is internal combustion engine. Apparatus required is a working or non-working IC engine. So non-working is better, and the outcome of this experiment is, at the end of this session, you are going to understand the classification of heat engines, understand the difference between external and internal combustion engine, understand the different parts of an IC engine, that is internal combustion engine. These are the topics we have covered in this experiment, that is heat engine and its classification, construction of an IC engine, cylinder block. These are the parts of an IC engine, that is cylinder block, cylinder head, piston rings, connecting rod, crankshaft, carburetor, fuel injector, fuel pump, and spark plug. So these are the different parts of an internal combustion engine. Now, first will be the classification of heat engine. So we have to understand what is a heat engine. Heat engine is a machine designed to convert one form of energy into another form, that is mechanical energy. Heat generated, which is a thermal energy, which is going to convert into mechanical energy. So heat engines burn a fuel to create a heat, which is then used to do some work. So these are the main classifications, that is external combustion engine and internal combustion engine. So external combustion engine and internal combustion engine are the two main classifications of this heat engine. Now we come to this based on this combustion of fuel, it is divided into external combustion engine and internal combustion engine. Now external combustion engine, the working medium is steam air, which is generated in a boiler located outside the engine and allowed into the cylinder to operate the piston to do mechanical work. In this the steam is used and the coal is burnt. If you look at the sketch here, the coal is burnt outside the engine and water is boiled to produce the steam. This steam is made to pass through the cylinder, which pushes this piston, and the engine is moving. Now this combustion is occurring outside the engine, and it is external combustion engine. So you can observe the sketch here. Next is internal combustion engine, in which internal combustion engine, as the word indicates, that the combustion of the fuel takes place inside the engine. So by burning this fuel, the high temperature and pressure force generate. So when the fuel is burnt, the temperature as well as the pressure rises. This helps to move the vehicle or rotate the wheel. Now next will be the construction of an IC engine. These are the different parts of an IC engine. Main three divisions is top, there is an engine head. At the center there is an engine block. At the bottom there is an oil. At the top, in the engine head region, we can observe there are valves: inlet valve, exhaust valve, and a spark plug, the air fuel inlet, and exhaust gas outlet. So this is a cylinder. This is the piston along with the piston rings, combustion pin, and this is the connecting rod. This connecting rod connects this piston to the crankshaft. So this is the crankcase at the bottom, and the sump where the oil is stored. These are the construction of an IC engine. These are the different parts of an IC engine. Now, so we have to understand the different parts in detail in this chapter. First topic will be this cylinder block. It is a basic framework for the engine and one of the main in engine parts. Cylinder block, cylinder head and crankcase. These three parts form the foundation. And cylinder block ಮತ್ತೆ cylinder head crankcase. The three parts are the main foundation for this. First, the cylinder block, at the top of the cylinder block there will be a cylinder head. Andre cylinder block ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ cylinder head ಇರುತ್ತೆ. At the bottom of the cylinder block there will be a crankcase. ಕೆಳಗಡೆ crankcase ಇರುತ್ತೆ. You can observe this. So cylinder block at the center, head at the top, crankcase at the bottom. So this is the main, it is stationary body of an automobile engine. So what are the materials used to prepare this cylinder block? Is usually made up of grey cast iron or aluminum and its alloys. The cylinder block mainly consists of three parts. The cylinder in which pistons slide up and down, that is the piston having a reciprocating motion, and the port or opening for this valves where the fuel is entering into the system and the exhaust gases are flowing out of the system, and the passage for the flow of this cooling water, the cooling system. Next topic will be the cylinder head or a cylinder cover. Cylinder head, and if you observe this, at the top of the cylinder block the device is placed, that is nothing but your cylinder head. Cylinder head is attached to the cylinder block by means of studs fixed to the block. It forms the combustion chamber and contains threaded holes for this placing of this spark plug. So studs use ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ, ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಗೆ. Especially when you come to this cylinder head, especially in the racing cars, so they are going to cast the cylinder head along with the cylinder body. ಇದು ಎರಡು ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕು ಮತ್ತು ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಎರಡೂ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದೇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ದ ಲೀಕೇಜ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲೀಕ್ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ joint. But the cylinder head which is placed separately is more advantageous when compared to this casted one. So this is cylinder cover. Usually the cylinder cover is made up of cast iron and aluminum alloy. So depending upon the valve or the port layout, there are three types. One is loop flow type, offset cross flow type and inline cross flow type. The next is this piston. So to understand what is piston, piston is a cylindrical plug that moves up and down in the cylinder. Usually it comes in the region of cylinder block, so it is moving up and down, that is the reciprocating motion. The top region which the cylinder moves reaches to the top, that is nothing but TDC, top dead center, and the bottom region to which the piston reaches is a BDC, that is bottom dead center. So what is the function of it is to help the convert pressure energy obtained by the combustion of fuel into useful mechanical work. That means it converts the pressure energy which is created due to this burning of the fuel. Burn ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ pressure energy create ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಇದು ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ಪವರ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Transfer this power to the crankshaft through the connecting rod. First it will transfer the power to the connecting rod, first transfer ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ crankshaft ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So how it is connected to the connecting rod? It is connected to the connecting rod by a piston pin. Piston pin ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಇದು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ರಾಡ್ ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. Material used, it is usually made up of cast iron or aluminum alloy. ಲೈಟ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಇರೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಿಯಂ ಅಲಾಯ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಟು, we already know that, transmit the power developed by fuel combustion to the crankshaft through the connecting rod. So the piston will be having reciprocating motion. It will move between TDC and BDC, top dead center and bottom dead center in the cylinder block. Piston rings. The piston rings are fitted into the grooves of piston. So ಗ್ರೂವ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ರಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಗುಡ್. ಸೊ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಸೀಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ವಾಲ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೋ ಲೀಕೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ದಿರ ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಇಂದ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಕೇಸ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಕೇಸಿಂದ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಹೆಡ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಥರದ ಲೀಕೇಜ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ring. So usually piston rings modern design only contains 3 rings. Usually previous 3 to 5 irtittu. Modern agi 3 rings, out of which one is a oil control ring. So you can look at the sketch here on the right side. Top 2 are compression rings and the last one is oil control ring. Totally 3 rings are there. 2 types. One is compression ring. Piston rings are of 2 types. One is compression ring, another one is oil ring. Compression ring 2 numbers are there, oil ring is only 1, totally 3 rings. They are usually made up of cast iron or a pressed steel alloy. It forms a seal for a high pressure gases from the combustion chamber entering into the crankcase. So a leak proof joint. That's it. Next we go to this connecting rod. So connecting a rod, as the word indicates, it connects this piston to this crankshaft. It is a special type of rod, one end of which is attached to the piston and the other end to the crankshaft. So one end ಯಾವ್ದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಂಡ್ crankshaft. So ಯಾವ end piston ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? So if you look at this sketch, there are 2 ends, small end and a big end. So this is small end and this is big end. So small end is connected to this connected to the piston by piston pin. So small end ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಯಾವ್ದು ಮುಖಾಂತರ, ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಪಿನ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ದೆನ್ ಬಿಗ್ ಎಂಡ್, ದಿಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಬಿಗ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದ crankshaft. This is connected to the crankshaft by crank pin ಮುಖಾಂತರ crankshaft ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. So this is connecting rod. The main function of this connecting rod, we already know that the piston will be having a reciprocating motion. So reciprocating motion now that energy will be transferred to this connecting rod and finally to the crankshaft. The reciprocating motion of the piston will be converted into rotary motion of the crankshaft by the help of this connecting rod. So it is usually made up of drop forged steel. Next we come to this crankshaft. It is the main shaft of an engine which converts the reciprocating motion of the piston, that is to and fro motion of the piston, into rotary motion of the flywheel. So one type of motion is getting converted into another type, that is reciprocating motion is getting converted into rotary motion. Usually the crankshaft is made up of drop forged steel or a cast steel. Inside the parts of the crankshaft inside the main bearings are called, we call it as main journals. So next one will be the carburetor. Carburation. So to understand the word carburation, it is nothing but the process of preparing air-fuel mixture away from the engine cylinder is called carburation. ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಏರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಎರಡನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ದ ಏರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಇಂಜಿನ್. ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಕಾರ್ಬುರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಆ ಕಾರ್ಬುರೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಡಿವೈಸ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ carburetor. Carburetor is a device in which the process called carburation occurs. That is, the air fuel is mixed in a proper ratio. Functions. Its function is to mix air and fuel in a specified ratio to supply the correct amount of mixture at different speed and loads. Engine ಗೆ ನಾವು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Now we come to this fuel injector. So we are going to inject the fuel, that is diesel. Fuel injector, it is used in diesel engine, that is a compression ignition engine. So it is a component which delivers a finely atomized fuel, that is fuel is diesel, under high pressure to the combustion chamber of the engine. So when the at the end of this compression stroke, there will be a high pressure inside the cylinder. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, the diesel will be in the atomized form, which will be sprayed into the system. Injector is usually used in compression ignition engine. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ignition engine ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಾದರೆ ಸ್ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ಲಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. There is no need for fuel injector. It sprays the fuel into combustion chamber at the end of this compression stroke. At the end of this compression stroke, air will be compressed to very high pressure and temperature. So the air will be at high pressure and temperature. ಏರ್ದು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಎರಡೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಡೀಸೆಲ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಸಕ್ಷನ್, ಕಂಪ್ರೆಷನ್, ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ಸ್, 4 ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಿಟೆಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಹೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ fitted to a hole. The primary difference between carburetor and fuel injector. We have already studied carburetor and also fuel injector. The difference is that the fuel injector atomizes the fuel by forcibly pumping it through a nozzle ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಟಮೈಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂಡರ್ ಹೈ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. While the carburetor relies on low pressure created by intake air rushing through it to add the fuel to the air string. Air string ಗೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡನ್ನು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಂಜಿನ್ಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾಸಲ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಆಟಮೈಸ್ಡ್ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ pump, it is an important part of the fuel supply system which supplies diesel to the injector by sucking from the fuel tank. It is a link between this fuel tank as well as this fuel injector. So ಎರಡು ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಪಂಪ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇಂದ ಡೀಸೆಲ್ ನ ಎಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ, it is going to send it to the fuel injector. So there is a fuel pump which takes fuel from the fuel tank and delivers to the fuel filter which is located above the level of this injection pump. So fuel pump ಇಂದ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಕಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ. Pressure is developed in the injection pump and the fuel under high pressure flows from the injection pump to the fuel injector. Pump andre, so we are going to raise the pressure here obviously, so we push it to the fuel injector. So fuel injector has either a single hole nozzle or a multi-hole nozzle. A jet of fuel passes through this hole at high velocity and atomized. We know that. So nozzle use ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, atomized fuel ನ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Next is this spark plug. A spark plug is a device for delivering electric current from an ignition system to the combustion chamber of a spark ignition engine. So at the end of this compression stroke, the petrol as well as air mixture will be compressed and it is having high temperature and pressure. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಬೆಂಕಿ ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆ ಸ್ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ಲಗ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, we are going to supply this fire through this spark plug and to help in combustion. So the electric spark is to ignite the compressed fuel air mixture which containing combustion pressure within the engine. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ಡ್ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಏರ್ದು ಪ್ರೆಷರು ಮತ್ತು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಇದು ಫೈರ್ ಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ಲಗ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ನಾವು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್. The function of the spark plug is to ignite the fuel air mixture after completion of this compression stroke. At the end of this compression stroke, we know that the pressure will be high. Pressure and temperature of this fuel air mixture will be It is generally placed in the combustion chamber of the cylinder head. Cylinder head ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ combustion chamber form ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ due to the shape. Ali we are going to place the spark plug. So this is only used in petrol engine. Petrol engine ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ spark plug ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಡೀಸೆಲ್ engine ನಲ್ಲಿ fuel injector ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ we are going to spray this atomized diesel to it, but in petrol engine there is no need. We only need a spark to ignite the fuel air mixture. Next we come to this multiple choice question. So if you have understood all the topics which I have explained in the previous slides, then you can easily explain this. You can easily answer these questions. Let's come to this first question. Heat engine uses dash energy to produce mechanical work. So we know that a heat engine converts one form of energy into another form. So they're asking which energy is produced and ಒಂದು ಯಾವ ಎನರ್ಜಿಯಿಂದ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ವರ್ಕಿಗೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ these are few answers they have given. Thermal ಅಂದ್ರೆ heat, fluid, kinetic and electric. So if you observe this first or second slide which I explained, you can easily tell the answer. That is thermal. That is thermal ಅಂದ್ರೆ heat produce ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಬರ್ನ್ ಆದಾಗ ಆ heat produce ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ heat ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ heat produce ಆಗಿ ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ರೆಸಿಪ್ರೊಕೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ರೆಸಿಪ್ರೊಕೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಇಂದ ರೋಟರಿ ಮೋಷನ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಫ್ಲೈವೀಲ್ಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ವರ್ಕ್. Next question is the energy of expanding gas is transferred by piston to the connecting rod through. So while studying this piston, so piston and connecting rod ಅವೆರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. So small end of this connecting rod is connected to the piston by some link. That is that they have given these options: crank pin, Godkian pin, bearing and the crankcase. So you can easily guess the answer. That is Godkian pin. Third question is in two-stroke engine there is one power stroke in dash of the crankshaft rotation. So crankshaft rotary, that means piston reciprocating motion ಇದ್ದಾಗ crankshaft rotary motion ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. In two-stroke engine there is one power stroke in dash of the crankshaft. Two stroke ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ 4 ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ 2 ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ 360. ಅದೇ 4 ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಆದ್ರೆ same question they have asked. In 4-stroke engine there is one power stroke in dash of the crankshaft rotation. 2-stroke ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು complete revolution. One complete revolution, it is nothing but 360 degree. So I will tell in a 4-stroke engine there will be two complete revolution. That is 360 for one complete revolution, again 360 for another complete revolution. 360 plus 360 you will get the answer, that is 720 degree. This is for 4-stroke. 2-stroke is to 360 degree, 4-stroke is 720 degree. So the ascending order of strokes in a 4-stroke engine. 4-stroke engine ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಯಾವ್ದಾವ್ದು ascending order of strokes ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So first ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, the piston moves from TDC to BDC and again BDC to TDC. Again TDC to BDC. Last one is BDC to TDC. That is suction stroke. Suction andre TDC ಇಂದ BDC ಹೋಗೋದು. Compression, you can guess it. Compression stroke, expansion stroke and exhaust stroke. This suction stroke TDC ಇಂದ BDC ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. BDC ಇಂದ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಗೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ BDC ಇಂದ TDC ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮೂವ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಬರ್ನ್ ಆದಾಗ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಲೋಡ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ TDC ಇರೋದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ BDCಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ BDCಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ನ ಆಚೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಆವಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆವಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And the cycle continues. In a 4-stroke engine, which of the following is known as a power stroke? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಪವರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪವರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಸ್ ಬೈ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆ ಪವರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್. ಐ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ಡ್ ಯು. ಸಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ಕಂಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ನ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಇಟ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಟಿ ಡಿ ಸಿ ಇಂದ ಬಿ ಡಿ ಸಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅವಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಪವರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. The air fuel ratio in petrol engine is controlled by. So if you look at this, some of the slides which I have explained here earlier, air and petrol, or air and petrol is mixed in a proper ratio in some device. If you look at this options here, fuel pump ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು fuel supply ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ, ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So governor is not an option here. So you can go to the carburetor. So the carburetor is the exact answer. Engine pistons are usually made up of aluminum. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಪಿಸ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ರೆಸಿಪ್ರೊಕೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಲೈಟ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, 2-stroke ಇಂಜನ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈಡ್ ಬೈ. 2-stroke ಇಂಜನ್ 4-stroke ಇಂಜನ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದಂದ್ರೆ, ಬೈ the, if you look at this all these options, so best one is the absence of valves ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ports. The top piston ring near to the piston crown is known as, ಇದು ನೀವು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಗೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. 3 ರಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, 2 ಕಂಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ರಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಯಿಲ್ ರಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋದು ಆಯಿಲ್ ರಿಂಗ್, ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿರೋದು ಯಾವುದು, ಟಾಪ್ ಇರೋದು ಯಾವುದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ರಿಂಗ್, 2 rings. So this is the end of this session. By this, I hope you have clearly understood about these parts of an internal combustion engine along with MCQ. Thank you.